Sorry, I'm sitting there doing a sound test. Can y'all hear me now? Chrissy said she on mute again. I was. I got two mute settings. Trying to be on mute when I'm supposed to be on mute. Okay. Let me get my my greetings first, and then I'll go over our docket. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. You see the warnings in the description, pinned comment, and I'll have another one up when I start reading because I don't want y'all to be surprised. But even when you're not surprised, sometimes you don't realize about the content, even if you like, okay, I knew what it was gonna be about, but I know it's gonna be like that. I'll say more when I get there, but warnings are posted so you can understand that this is not this one's not the lighthearted one. Okay. Hey, lovely Linda Gamble. Hey, Mildred, Conversations and Cocktails, a content creator. How are you doing? Hi, Sandra Maple. Hey, Professor Demita Anita Baker Joe. Hey, Shan. Hey, 41 Fit, my nickname queen and my mod. And Linda Gamble is my mod as well. Let me see. Hey, MJ. Good morning. Saw this pop up on my phone. Decided to hop in into my next conference call. I got you, MJ. Thank you. It must be a lot of folks that work from home. Right. No, you're right, MJ. We see the same people. I love it. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Ebony Dancer. Let me see. Good morning, Shan, my legal eagle, and my mod as well. Hey, Annette. Let me see. Hey, Rose Armstead. Hey, Cynthia Arrington. Hi, Jesse Bradley Lewis. Hi, Queens Jaja. Hope you're having a beautiful day as well. Queens Jaja, are you a content creator? Hey, Veronica Monroe. Happy to see you again. Hey, my Leo sis, Live, Laugh, Love, one of my mods and a content creator as well. Hey, Joyce Miles. Hey, it's ChrissyTyme, who's also a content creator, one of my mods. Hey, Soul Star Music Lover. Glad to see you again. Uh-oh. Oh, y'all, you know, if I get booted, I'm coming back. It's StreamYard. Char's Reality. I'm a checkmate, Char. Hey, good to see you. How are you doing? And Char is a content creator. Hey, Miss Cheryl from Seattle. Have a blessed day as well. Hey, Love Key. Hi, Barbara Bailey. Hey, Sukenta Smith. Sylvia. Hey, Sylvia P. Hi, baby girl 1981. Hi, Mary Jackson. Hey, Pumpkin. Hi, Lady Queen. Hi, Galen Alexander. Hey, Red Ann. I think I said hey to Josie Bradley, but I'm going to say it again because I can't remember for sure. Yeah, I'm a checkmate. I don't say it over here. I say it to quote you, not to say it like I say it over here, but I'll be like, yeah, Shar says she's going to make it do what it do. That is Shar. She's a trip, and I love it. Okay, I'm going to go over what's on the docket. All right, so normally we have started 5 minutes with Fit. She did one yesterday for us, but she said because of the topic today, even though I asked her if she want to do it at the beginning, she was like, she's just going to sit this one out. So if you don't, that's why you won't see 5 minutes with Fit at the end for this time. But we have mostly lighthearted stuff after this topic for a while, I think. Okay, so she'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to read over the lawsuit against Love is Blind. And kind of Netflix, not just Love is Blind, but it's specifically for sure about some conditions on Love is Blind. And I'm pretty sure there's other reality show lawsuits out there. I would love to see those too, but I know about this one specifically. So some cast members that were on Love is Blind, one particular person named Jeremy Hartwell, I think his last name is, he started the lawsuit, but he's brought in Nick and some others. It sounds like it's forming almost as an organization. So Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tomorrow evening, we will go over that lawsuit. Then Thursday evening, 6 p.m., we have the witness list for both sides that we're going to go over for Scope versus Zen Gardens. So I'm ready to do that with y'all. And Sylvia, I made you a thumbnail. Sylvia P is going to tell her story Friday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I am very happy and can't wait for you to tell your story, Sylvia. And the title is going to be From Uncertainty to Confirmation. So yes, thank you so much, Sylvia, for wanting to share your story. And okay, getting, obviously the content I'm reading is first of all, it's a public record. This one I did not, I saw this one straight from the internet. So it is how it just was on the internet is how I have it. And it is under fair use. I am reading it for commentary, for reporting, and for research. Okay. All things, let me get my banner up. All things are alleged that are placed into this complaint. They're, for my purposes, they're all alleged. I have my own opinions, but I cannot state that as fact. So they are all alleged that are within this complaint. And I will, after this point, I won't be going through the comments because I definitely don't want to kind of break away from this particular sensitive topic to break a tone from reading the comments. So I just want to say thank y'all that are in here. Thank you to the latecomers that are coming in here. I will watch the replay to probably try to read some of the comments later because I do like interacting with y'all. I just don't see how I can navigate that, especially trying to keep it a tight hour and just not, I don't want to be callous about the topic. So that's why. So mods, if y'all could please let people know as they're coming in that I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to read through this topic and keep it on the tone that I feel it deserves. And I'm very thankful for y'all for being here. Replay gang, I of course will put a timestamp in there for y'all for when the topic starts. I have a lot of warnings up, y'all. And as you can see, I got the hotline number up as well because I want to make sure that, sorry, y'all. I want to make sure that resources are available, you know about your resources, and you are not surprised if you come in the middle and you hear me reading certain words. Now, I have clipped out a lot of the graphic parts, most of the graphic parts. So mostly what I'm reading, I believe, is more inferred. But it's ChrissyTyme reminded me that Tasha K has a full interview with the alleged victim, and she goes into full detail there. So if you are like, I have a stronger stomach, I do want to hear the full thing, Tasha K has the interview from what is ChrissyTyme has told me. So yes, thank y'all. Thank you everybody that's in here. And okay, so I am not even going to bring up the words on the screen for this one. I had clipped them out so I could, but I was like, this one's so, it's too much. I just couldn't bring up the words. So I am going to read it to y'all. Okay. And again, if you want to hear straight from the alleged victim, Tasha K has the interview over there. Okay, so this is a case against not just Charlamagne. This is actually, Charlamagne is one of the defendants. It's also against iHeartRadio. And when they amended their complaint, it also is against, I don't know if y'all know who this one is, but defendant John Doe number 1 is referred to as Larry, and defendant John Doe number 2 is referred to as Boo. And I believe y'all know possibly who Boo is. That I think Boo is still around Charlamagne to this day, I thought. And he has said some questionable things before I knew about this complaint. And I was like, ooh, that don't seem right. If that's him that I'm remembering. And so this is the plaintiff's name is Jessica Nicole Reed. She does name another victim, but the victim is not listed as a co-plaintiff. I'm going to do my best to skip over her name because I didn't realize it till later that although she's listed in the complaint, the second victim, she is not listed as a plaintiff. So therefore, I don't want to, I'm going to try my best not to throw her name out there, but I didn't realize it till I was all the way done. So bear with me on this one. All right. So here we go. All right. Get everything closed up. No distractions. Seems like, okay, I think everybody can hear me. Sounds good. Okay, if I get booted, I'm going to come right back if I get booted out. Okay, it says, let me see. Oh, and the other defendants are iHeartMedia Inc., Simon and Schuster, and Simon and Schuster doing business as Black Privilege Publishing. Those are the other defendants. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defendants total, the way it's named. Okay. All right. So the jurisdiction, it says this court has subject matter jurisdiction over this action because the parties are citizens of different states and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. And this is in the Southern District of New York, United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. That's where it's being tried or asked for a jury trial at. Okay. So this is how the plaintiff starts it off. She says, and this is, one more context. This is still about the victim, the alleged victim from 2001. And she states later the reason she is able to bring it back up because victims that were under the age of 18 are considered a child, are able to still basically confront their alleged predator or assaulter later on in life. The statute increased, I believe, in New York. So that's why, although it's a long time ago, that's why she's able to still bring it to court. And please be sensitive to anyone else in the comments because there's a lot of numbers of us that have been through something similar. So keep that in mind when I don't think anybody in here is like intentionally trying to be callous, but I know a lot of people ask, why wait so long? Why wait so long? Especially when it's a child. You don't even realize your independent power, if you ever do, until you grow up. So it does take a long time. Victims don't come forward immediately. You know how that, most of y'all know how that goes. So just please remember that although we go through the timeline and it's, it started in 2001. Okay. All right. So, all right, y'all. And please, after we get done with all this, do something to take care of your mental health, please. Okay, so it says life before June 8th, 2001. In 2001, Plaintiff Reed was introduced to defendant Charlamagne by a mutual acquaintance. When they first met, Miss Reed was a 15-year-old freshman in high school, and Charlamagne was a 22-year-old adult. At the time, Charlamagne was a local radio disc jockey. Charlamagne was made aware of her minor age at the first meeting. Within days of their meeting, Miss Reed received an unsolicited phone call from Charlamagne. Miss Reed had not given Charlamagne her number, so she was not expecting his call. Charlamagne said that he was interested in Miss Reed romantically and wanted to take her out on a date. Miss Reed explained in the call that she was rejecting his romantic advances and would not go on a date with him. Charlamagne indicated that he understood the rejection and asked if they could be friends instead, to which Miss Reed agreed. After that, Charlamagne would call Miss Reed from time to time, and they began a platonic friendship. For me, I'm going to start identifying that portion as grooming, in my opinion. At times, Miss Reed would call Charlamagne at the radio station and request a song, and Charlamagne would play it. Weeks later, Charlamagne said that he wanted to take Miss Reed and her friends out to get something to eat. Miss Reed agreed and invited her friend to lunch with her and Charlamagne. Charlamagne drove over to pick up Miss Reed and her friend, and at that time, Charlamagne met Miss Reed's mother. I had a lot of feelings about the plaintiff's mother. I will say that, so y'all may have some too, but I'm just gonna read this part. Charlamagne spoke with her mother and assured her that Miss Reed and her friend were safe and that they were just going out to eat. After Miss Reed's mother met and spoke with Charlamagne, her mother felt comfortable letting Miss Reed and her friend go out to lunch. Charlamagne had about 3 other guys with him at the time. Everyone seemed friendly, and Miss Reed believed that they all had a nice time. On June 7th, 2001, Charlamagne explained that he was having a party to celebrate his upcoming birthday and wanted Miss Reed to attend with her friends. Charlamagne also said that it was going to be a big party and that Miss Reed and her friends should all bring their bathing suits. After Miss Reed initially rejected this invitation, Charlamagne continued to pressure and cajole the minor, Miss Reed, to agree to attend. Charlamagne further stated he wanted Miss Reed to be there as she was like his, quote, little sister, and really wanted her to come. Succumbing to the pressure, Miss Reed made plans with her 14-year-old friend. So she's 15. She had a 14-year-old friend to attend the party on the next evening. On June 8th, 2001, which is the party, and this says, this is in section B, it says Charlamagne and others assaulted Miss Reed. On June 8th, 2001, Miss Reed was contacted by her minor friend who was now no longer able to attend the party. So the 14-year-old is no longer able to attend. Miss Reed did not wish to attend the party alone. She was prepared to tell Charlamagne this fact when he arrived to pick her up. But before she was picked up, Miss Reed spoke with her mother and, quote, sister-in-law about the evening's plans. I'm going to try to refer to this person as the sister-in-law because she becomes the other alleged victim. The sister-in-law was 18 years old at the time, engaged to Miss Reed's older brother and mother to a then newborn. The sister-in-law agreed to attend the party with Miss Reed and look after her during the party. While Miss Reed was expecting Charlamagne to pick them up for the party, Charlamagne's cousin, Quinta Parker, and a few other men picked up Miss Reed and her sister-in-law around 4 p.m. Charlamagne was supposed to come as well, but he was traveling separately. After driving for over an hour, the car taking Miss Reed and her sister-in-law stopped at a home that was later described as Charlamagne's family home. Miss Reed and her sister-in-law were introduced to and spoke with Charlamagne's father. After a brief visit, the group minus Charlamagne's father left to continue the lengthy drive to the party location. On the way, the group stopped at a gas station to refuel. While at the gas station, Miss Joyner and the sister-in-law and Miss Reed called Miss Reed's mother to reassure her that the two ladies were okay. Once the group made it to the party location called the Short Stay Naval Recreation Center, when Miss Reed and her sister-in-law walked inside the premises, they immediately noticed that the interior party was completely devoid of any other women. Miss Reed saw two other females outside in the back and could see them from the screen door, but they never came inside. At this point, Miss Reed expressed to Charlamagne that she was uncomfortable with the large amounts of men present. Charlamagne told Miss Reed to relax, quote, because everything was okay. Charlamagne then asked Miss Reed and Miss Joyner if they wanted a drink. Miss Reed initially told him no, and her sister-in-law accepted the offer of a drink. Charlamagne then made a drink for the sister-in-law. Charlamagne continued to pressure the minor, Miss Reed, to drink. He then reassured Miss Reed by saying, quote, look, please try to censor your comments with certain keywords. Try to be creative with some of the words you're using. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Quote, look, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. You are like my little sister. Nothing will happen to you tonight. I'll take care of you. It's my birthday. Just chill and have some fun. Miss Reed then acquiesced and allowed Charlamagne to make her a drink. After beginning to drink, Miss Reed and her sister-in-law sat on a couch. Miss Reed looked at Miss Joyner, and Miss Joyner started to look sick. When Miss Reed asked her sister-in-law if she was okay, she started throwing up. Some of the men at the party gave her sister-in-law some napkins to clean herself up, but they began laughing at her in the process. Soon Miss Reed started to feel dizzy as well, so she decided to go to the bathroom and stay in there until she felt better. However, as soon as Miss Reed stood up, she collapsed as it felt like her legs gave out and she could not walk. The next thing Miss Reed heard was the men at the party laughing at her. Then she heard Charlamagne joining in the laughter and saying, quote, take her upstairs. Two men then carried Miss Reed upstairs and took her into one of the bathrooms upstairs. Miss Reed later found out that the two men were named Larry and Boo. Miss Reed had on a dress that night. Once they got into the bathroom, Larry and Boo started pulling up her dress. I'm skipping the graphic part. To make matters worse, Miss Reed was still conscious and aware of everything that was happening to her, but she still could not move her body. When the men were finished, they left her in the bathroom. Miss Reed laid on the bathroom floor and cried. Miss Reed did not understand what was going on and why she could not move. She was very afraid and did not know what to do. Shortly thereafter, Larry opened the bathroom door a few times to peek in. Then Charlamagne came into the bathroom and carried Miss Reed into a bedroom and laid her on the bed. He left her alone in the room for a bit. In the interim, Larry came into the bedroom and attempted to assault Miss Reed a second time. After being unsuccessful, Larry grew frustrated and left the bedroom. Miss Reed laid in shock, hoping that the abuse was over, and she was wrong. Charlamagne came back into the bedroom shortly after that. Miss Reed knew it was him because he was talking to Miss Reed and he said, quote, it's me. This is Charlamagne. Didn't I tell you I was going to take care of you? In addition to hearing Charlamagne's voice, she also saw his face. The room was dark, but when Charlamagne opened the door, his face was illuminated by the hallway light. Miss Reed tried to move, but she was still weak and Charlamagne had all his weight on her. Miss Reed just lay there and cried helplessly. When Charlamagne was done, he left the room and Miss Reed was left lying on the bed. Miss Reed felt like she had been lying there forever and was very confused and scared. Later, someone came in the room and turned on the lights and saw Miss Reed lying there. They must have said something to the other guests because shortly after, there were several people standing in the doorway looking at Miss Reed. Her sister-in-law also walked in the room, barely able to stand and slurring her speech, and asked Miss Reed where her clothes were. Miss Reed started yelling and screaming that she was AR'd after her sister-in-law asked her what happened, and Miss Reed asked, where are my clothes? Miss Reed still felt like she was drunk, even though she did not have that much to drink. Larry, one of the men who assaulted Miss Reed, said, quote, no one touched you. Shut the F up before I kick you in the head. Miss Reed screamed and kept yelling, and everyone who was standing in the doorway ran downstairs. Miss Reed does not remember how she got her clothes back on, but she assumed her sister-in-law helped her since no one else was in the room at the time. Miss Reed and her sister-in-law both gathered up enough strength to help each other down the stairs. When they arrived downstairs, they noticed that everyone left the premises. Miss Reed and her sister-in-law then walked outside, and Miss Reed fell to the floor and started crying. Miss Reed told her sister-in-law that she loved her as she was scared and did not know what was going to happen to them. Out of nowhere, a man pulled up to the front of the premises where Miss Reed and her sister-in-law were sitting, and he asked them if they wanted to use his phone. Miss Reed was still out of it and scared, but her sister-in-law was able to use the phone. Miss Reed's mother was trying to get information from the sister-in-law, but the sister-in-law did not know anything, so she gave the phone back to the man. The man spoke with Miss Reed's mother and said that he would not leave the sister-in-law and Miss Reed until the police arrived. We're on to the section that says Sheriff's Investigation and Charlamagne's Arrest. It says life after the June 8th, 2001 party. Police and emergency personnel were called to the scene. The Berkeley County Sheriff's Department arrived at the scene of the R. Officers Arnett, Dawson, and Thomas arrived at the scene to investigate. Officer Arnett noticed that there was a strong odor of marijuana at the premises and several empty alcoholic beverage bottles and cans, which gave the officer Arnett the impression that a party had taken place at the premises. Officer Arnett then proceeded upstairs and made observations regarding the upstairs bedroom. Officer Arnett's report read as follows, quote, one bed was in complete disarray with the sheets completely messed up and in a pile in the middle of the bed. A silver bracelet was laying next to the bed in plain view, which was later said to be Miss Reed's. Officers Arnett and Dawson then proceeded, quote, outside and had dispatch notify the duty detective, who also notified the naval authorities, who both responded to the crime scene. The crime scene was secured until their arrival and turned over to Detective Klein, who took over the investigation. Officer Arnett further reports that he stayed on scene, securing the crime scene until approximately 6:30 a.m. when Sergeant Pipkin relieved him and he went off duty. All relevant information to the case was shared with Detective Klein and the naval investigator. The sheriff retrieved a silver bracelet in the bedroom which belonged to Miss Reed and identified a hole in the wall that was later identified to be caused by Miss Reed. Miss Reed was taken to the Somerville Medical Center. Miss Reed recalls the ambulance ride vividly as she was still in shock, hyperventilating, and feeling unsafe. She just wanted to go home and was crying and screaming, and the paramedics did their best to calm Miss Reed down. When the sister-in-law and Miss Reed arrived at the Somerville Medical Center, Miss Reed cried and hugged her mother and brother as she was very relieved to see them. Even though she was in extreme pain, Miss Reed had a full medical examination and submitted to the R-kit procedure. Miss Reed was discharged to her mother's care shortly thereafter. The next few days after the assault was very difficult for Miss Reed. She locked herself in her room and did not say much to anyone. Miss Reed and her sister-in-law later went to the police to give their statements, and Miss Reed wanted to press charges against Charlamagne and his friends for assaulting her. On June 12, 2001, Magistrate Judge Elizabeth S. Harper issued an arrest warrant for Charlamagne for criminal sexual conduct with a minor. On June 22, 2001, Charlamagne was placed under arrest pursuant to Judge Harper's outstanding warrant. Charlamagne was placed in the Berkeley County Detention Center. On June 25, 2001, Charlamagne was released from custody on a $10,000 surety bond. On August 28, 2001, Charlamagne was ordered by the Berkeley court to submit to a blood test as part of the criminal investigation. On August 29, 2001, the state of South Carolina, County of Berkeley filed 2 indictments against defendant Charlamagne the God. Count 1 was criminal sexual conduct with a minor, a second-degree offense. Count 2 was contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Even in her young, impressionable age, Miss Reed was resolute that she wanted to press charges against Charlamagne and his friends. Miss Reed filled out a witness impact statement detailing the physical and emotional toll the assault had on her. The witness impact statement conveyed that Miss Reed was experiencing severe physical and emotional trauma. Finally, Miss Reed's family conveyed to the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department that the tremendous stress of the assault and subsequent events required the family to move to another state. Miss Reed's family felt the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department were not providing Miss Reed with the services she needed to deal with such a horrific situation. Due to the fact that Miss Reed was a minor at the time these events occurred, she was not allowed to participate in the prosecution of her case. On June 10th, 2002, Charlamagne was offered a plea bargain. Prosecutors opted not to prosecute Charlamagne's indictment for criminal sexual conduct with a minor. In lieu of the Child R prosecution, Charlamagne pled guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. As a result of Charlamagne's plea deal, he was sentenced to 3 years probation in order to pay a $103 fine to the court. Okay, this next part says Charlamagne, sometimes using iHeartRadio's radio platform and Simon and Schuster's publishing platform, denies R-ing Miss Reed and makes a slew of false, insulting claims about her. Miss Reed has tried to get justice, but to no avail. And to make matters worse, everyone that Miss Reed reached out to, including iHeartRadio, Simon and Schuster, and Black Privilege Publishing, ignored her and still allow Charlamagne to speak on their platform. Every time Miss Reed turns on the radio and hears his voice, sees him on TV, and walks past his books in the store, she is reminded of what Charlamagne did to her. Her ongoing emotional distress has taken a toll on her mental health and has re-traumatized her. Charlamagne had an interview about the incident where he lied about what happened, called Miss Reed a groupie, said he never met Miss Reed, that he had absolutely nothing to do with it, and bragged about beating the case. On July 21st, 2013, Charlamagne was speaking to DJ Academics about Miss Reed's R, and he misstates the circumstances of the R. On April 17th, 2019, Charlamagne was on The Breakfast Club, and he spoke about Miss Reed being involved in a smear campaign, which is false. In Charlamagne's book, Black Privilege, published by Simon & Schuster and Black Privilege Publishing, on pages 82 through 85, Charlamagne discusses Miss Reed's R and states that Miss Reed willingly went into a room to have sex with his friends. Charlamagne referred to Miss Reed as a person who was doing drugs and willingly went into a dark room to have sex with men on the night that Miss Reed was R'd. Charlamagne's description of the event that took place was wrong, hurtful, and defaming. Charlamagne's false statements, some of which were made on iHeartMedia's platform, were made with knowledge of falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. Charlamagne has admitted on iHeartMedia's platform and another show that he has R'd women in the past. Miss Reed has also created a petition to fire Charlamagne from iHeartMedia's platform. Miss Reed suffers reputation. The next section is titled Miss Reed suffers reputation and other harm. Miss Reed was 15 years old when this happened to her on June 8, 2001. She is now 37 and is still trying to get her life back. She tried to press charges against Charlamagne in 2006, but the person she spoke to at the sheriff's office told her that the statute of limitations had already passed and there was nothing she could do. She tried again 2 years later in 2008. Since no one would help her, she decided to start her personal journey of healing to try to put the matter behind her. Due to the assault, R, and repeated offensive commentary, Miss Reed has been suicidal, been prescribed antidepressants, and underwent counseling in 2015 and 2017. She has gotten into fights and arguments with her family because of the incident. She feels as though she lost who she was, and there are some days where she cannot get out of bed. Miss Reed has suffered from extreme post-traumatic stress disorder, and she still has dreams and flashbacks of the incident to this day. Miss Reed also has issues with intimacy as a result of the attack. Her intimacy issues stem from fear, and she subconsciously associates physical intimacy and touch with pain and danger. As such, it is very difficult for Miss Reed to form romantic relationships. She is currently working through her issues, but she still has a huge fear of being around men, especially in an intimate setting. Miss Reed is also actively in physical therapy as well as therapy from the assault, which has been very hard for her. Miss Reed wants to move on with her life and wants to feel whole again. Over the course of the years since the party that turned to tragedy, defendants Charlamagne, Larry, and Boo have never had to face justice of any kind for the brutal assault and R of a 15-year-old child. Defendant Charlamagne has continued to spread vitriol, R culture, and misogyny with little to no regard for the victims of his reckless and offensive conduct. and defendants iHeartMedia, Simon and Schuster, and Black Privilege Publishing has supported and co-signed each and every time Charlamagne has glorified, profited, and popularized this actionable conduct. Accordingly, plaintiff Jessica Nicole Reed files this complaint seeking judgment and damages for the following causes of action. Count 1, sexual assault of a minor. And it says on August 3rd, 2020, New York enacted groundbreaking legislation known as the Child Victims Act, codified under CPLR 214-G. This act allows adults who suffered sexual abuse as a child to revive their time-barred claims for a period 2 years and 6 months from the effective date of the statute. Plaintiff Reed filed the instant suit on December 19, 2022, within the time prescribed in the Child Survivors Act. The statutory intent for the act was guided by the difficulties in minors reporting abuse and the difficulty in adults getting authorities to listen to their late reported claims. Count 2, assault incident to sexual abuse. Count 3, battery during sexual abuse. Count 4, defamation as an incident to sexual abuse. Count 5, intentional infliction of emotional distress incident to sexual abuse. Count 6, negligent infliction of emotional distress incident to sexual abuse. The damages being sought, it says, accordingly, plaintiff is entitled to an award of actual compensatory damages, including lost wages and benefits in the past and future, in an amount within the jurisdictional limits of the court. Plaintiff also asserts that defendants acted with malice or reckless indifference to his federally protected rights, entitling her to an award of punitive damages. Lastly, the plaintiff demands, the plaintiff demands a jury on all issues to be tried in this matter, and herein submits the jury fee. Wherefore, Ms. Reed respectfully requests that the court, 1, order Charlamagne and iHeartMedia and Simon & Schuster and Black Privilege Publishing to retract their actionable and otherwise defamatory statements. 2, award Ms. Reed compensatory damages in an amount to be determined at jury trial. 3, award Ms. Reed punitive and exemplary damages in an amount to be determined at a jury trial. And 4, award Ms. Reed pre- and post-judgment interest, costs, and such other and further relief as this court may deem just and proper. Okay, and that is the end of her complaint. So it was a lot. Okay. Since there actually is time, I'm gonna go and I'll just wait for the newer comments to come in instead of backtracking. That way I can make sure I stay on task. Good morning, Pamela. Rose said, I hope he got his punishment on down the line. I hope he gets it. I hope he does. Everything is alleged. So if the court finds him guilty, I hope that he gets the greatest conviction. And if somehow the court still rules differently, I hope life does something, as if this turns out to be true. And I'm just saying because of my personal feelings, I believe it happened. That's my personal feelings. So I'm just trying to be careful with my words, but just in case you're wondering, I think it did happen. It's so sad what an SA victim has to go through to get justice, right, Sukenta? No, Rose, if I'm reading what I think you're saying, I agree with you. Pumpkin. So that's how he treats his little sister. I am 38 hot. Right. The fact that he was 22, even approaching a 15-year-old, is ridiculous. So did he ever go to criminal court? I stepped away for a second. He took a plea deal for a lesser charge, and I don't know, it doesn't say in her part if the other charge was dismissed without prejudice or not. That's the best I can say on that one, Shan, because it didn't give me much more than that. That I actually read and saved, I guess. So Brian, he pled guilty then denied. He pled guilty to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He was allowed not to plead guilty to the R of a minor or an R at all. Hey, little Paulette in the game. Been in the bushes. I got you. I got you. Black women are least protected, in my opinion. Yeah. Trending, you did say he was arrested, correct? He was arrested. He was later released. I did not read anything about them being military, but I know I read that party was at a rec center. So I don't know if he knew military people, but no, I didn't. It never stated that they were military in what I read. Soulstar. I heard this story in 2019, and her story hasn't changed. Got you, Ebony. I've always heard. You know how you say whisperings because there's so many stories coming at you. I don't really feel like it was a whisper, but I felt it. I would hear rumblings of this story every now and again, and this is my first time actually seeing the detail, and I did not see the Tasha K interview, so I was fresh in last night on this one. So, oh, I see what you're saying because she's pursuing the civil side. I see what you're saying. I don't watch his show on BET at all, which is on. Got you, Ebony. I didn't even know he had a show on BET. I remember this back in the day too. It's the same, right? Because this is from 2001, and thankfully that New York law is allowing her to try to seek something again, something to help her get some closure. Hi, Dee Dee. So at this point, she is seeking monetary damages. Well, is it? And see, is it? Let me see what this says at the top. Let me make sure. Does it say civil or what does it say? It doesn't. Well, I don't see it say civil, so I have to take that back. It just says jury trial demanded, but I don't see a CV for civil on here anywhere. So I have to take that part back. I am not sure. And I told I don't have a legal background, y'all. So Shan will help me get that part cleared up because I don't see where it says civil on here. So she might be talking about criminal as well. I'm not sure. I hope they find him guilty. I feel he did it. He acts so snotty. I hear you, Pamela. Right? I mean, she's consistent with her story, but yet he writes about R-ing women and nothing happens. Make it make sense. Very sad. We need to pay attention to the words that become traps. Right, little sister. Right. That's why I felt like that was a grooming phase, trying to make it a fake safe place. You know, everything will be okay. I'll take care of her. Right. And can I say now that I'm done reading it that I think the mom tried to help her after the fact, but I don't know why the mom released her to even be able to have permission to go to that party, period. First of all, with adults, I just don't understand her. Even when he asked her, could she go out to eat when she was 15? I'm like, but why would you say yes? Like, you're not even gonna have the audacity to step on my doorstep without something pointing back at you to ask me if my 15-year-old daughter can go anywhere with you. So that's where I am confused on that part of it. Okay. No weapon formed against us Black women will prosper. All truths will come to light in due time. Hi, Coach CP. Thank you. I've been a victim as well, so that's that way I feel. And he did get caught down the line. It's bad when they are not charged in your case, but at least he got caught later. Got you, Rose. Rose, look, when it comes to stuff like that, God's will be done. That's what I say, Rose. So I promise I'm not judging you at all. She has been fighting this for a long time, a super long time. All the adults failed this young lady when she was a minor. That's what it feels like, Pumpkin. That's what I'm reading. That's what it sounds like. One thing I didn't see it come back and say, but I thought I read it somewhere in black and white. So I'm just going to say it just in case because it's relevant. When they did that R kit, I guess it came back inconclusive with his DNA. But again, with the circumstances, I can understand how that might be possible because there were multiple predators. So I just want to say that because I feel like I saw that somewhere. Jay Jamming. Yeah, it's surviving Charlamagne out here. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. Add him to the list. Sounds like there will be no criminal charges. So this is a way for her to get her story known and to get some type of justice. Gosh, you Shan. Shan, I don't watch it either. Never listened to it on the radio. Angela Yee was so complacent, in my opinion, Sukenta. I could not stand her. I wish honestly, I had never could stand any of them. They all got on my nerves, and I don't know if it's. And I'm like, I don't want to go harder on the woman, but there was something really special that irked me about Angela Yee. I got closure with therapy and him getting caught later. Got you, Rose. When you say caught later, do you mean when he got jumped? Is that what you're saying? Because I want to know what you mean by caught. I honestly want to know because I don't know his whole history on that one. And I think I know why I was mad at Angela Yee more because at the time I didn't know about the R stuff. So I was just like in the way that they were very just misogynistic on the show in general and they disregarded a lot. And I liked it when what's the girl Michelle? What's her name? Every time I think of Keisha Cole, I'm actually thinking of the other lady, the one that had to that Rashida was wrong about how that relationship went. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit to see if y'all know who I'm talking about. K Michelle, how Angela Yee was in there kind of going along with that whole narrative about K Michelle's like womanly hygiene and stuff like that. I do not like Angela Yee. Hey, who said that? If the clear people can get justice after years with Bill Cosby, then she should, period. Yes, she should. I would never have allowed my underage daughter to hang out with grown men. That's the missing, and I know it happens. I know she's not the only parent that's done it, but I don't understand the how. Like you saw this grown A man face to face and say, yeah, you can take my 15-year-old daughter out to eat. I'm not even talking about the party yet, just the building of the relationship. No. What's wrong with parents letting kids go with adult men? My daughters are grown and I ask where they're going and who they with. Right, LaPriest, right. Please like the video if you're in here. I definitely appreciate it. This video will not be seen a lot because of the content of it. So I definitely appreciate. Sorry, I got booted. I appreciate if you decided to stay with me. Please hit the like button if you are still here because it takes a lot to sit through something like that. 22-year-old man, not my 15-year-old. Right. There's no way, Rose. It should be eating the mom up as well. I hope she can get her life together. And Pamela, I feel like afterwards, it is eating her up. I do feel like that. But it's just, I know you can't turn back time, but I don't understand the why. Why in the first place? Hey, Mika. If you can stand it, catch the replay, Mika. But this one was a hard one. Yeah, I know his show. I didn't know it was on BET. I thought he had some other new show on BET or something. I thought he had something else. Yeah, I heard because he was talking about I'm not gonna name the name of the drug, but he was talking about that and how she ended up being okay with it or something, right, Chrissy? I remember him. He said it as a by the way. He was real casual. In events like this, I questioned the mother and why she felt it was okay for her underage daughter to entertain a grown man. Right. Can I ain't even gonna say no, because that's about her mom. I ain't even gonna go there. Disgusting and a predator. Yes, Rose. You're welcome. Of course. Yep, K Michelle. I know we discussed these topics here and there, but there needs to be a complete expose on these predators. They are not isolated incidents. I feel like some people are doing the work, as Brian. I really feel like there are. I think they just don't get the eyes. Like you need, the major platforms to kind of get the eyes. Because I would be remiss to say that nobody is digging deep on them. I think that there are people. They just don't have a large platform, and I wish that they would get credit for their work, and the larger platforms would pick it up. Yeah, Angela. Yes, little Paulette. Yes. He was a serial R, so he got caught on the 10th victim, Rose. Wow. Jesus. She's been trying to be her since she was 15. Yes. StreamYard Gremlins 41 Fit kicked me out of my own stuff. They could never find him during my case. Hey, Jazzy J. I like already working, but I can hear everything. Okay, thank you, Jazzy J. I appreciate it. Hurt people hurt others, and Charlamagne said he goes into detail about that. Yep, but just like R. Kelly, who, if y'all watched his story, he also was repetitively molested as well from what I understand. And it still does not excuse him from what he did to, and I know you're not trying to excuse him, Pamela. I understand you're trying to show the pattern. I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying you have to get help, especially as you get older and you have the resources available. You have to get help. Sons as well, right? I cut friendship with a grown female who used to compliment my teenage son way too much. Jay Jammin, exactly, because this is not gender specific. Very smart to do that. It's so terrible that grown men of all backgrounds prey on and violate young girls. Right. The mom probably seen him as a celeb. And that's worse. That's I'd rather the mom be a naive and think good of all people than it be that she was a little bit of starstruck. But I know what you're saying, LaPriest, because that could very well possibly be the case. Laughed. Yeah, he did laugh. And hey, unapologetically, Angela. Right, but baby K Michelle got her right. That's why it's so memorable. It's more memorable because K Michelle gathered her. She gathered all of her edges, Sukenta. So yes, I'm so glad K Michelle did that. I heard the audio when he attempted to minimize his behavior by bringing his wife on the line. Right. right. It's just sickening how grown men prey on young children, girls, boys, and just hurts my heart. Yes. Hey, Phyllis. Okay. Well, as y'all see, I kept the number up just in case, because again, if it's 5 of us in the chat, what is it, like 2 or 3 have gone through something similar? So I wanted to, and I know I think I've had to cover this topic before on somebody else, and it's going to keep coming up, unfortunately. But they shouldn't be able to hide behind their piece of a star. You know what I mean? I feel like people have heard the things, except if they watch Tasha K, they know. But I feel like a lot of people were like me, where I heard, but I had not humanized this woman in my head. I had not heard details. I just heard there was an accusation. Jessica Reed's mother did not allow her to testify. Her brother advised the mom not to let her go to the party, but she did. Well, Gigi, in the case, in Jessica Reed's own complaint, it says that she was not allowed to testify because she was a minor. That's what she's saying as her 37-year-old adult self. So it said minors were not allowed to testify at that time. So I don't know how much the mom didn't let her do it, unless she also maybe said additionally that statement on Tasha K. But in her statement in writing, she said she just wasn't allowed to because of her age. Charlamagne is a sick individual. I pray that what he did to that young girl won't happen to his daughters, because ooh, child, that karma. Brittany, man, yeah. It's too possible. The numbers are too high. It's too possible. Unfortunately, 6 of us have gone through similar. Of course he wouldn't. That's how they all do, though. It's so weird, the double standard when they think about their own children, but somebody is somebody's child. That's why I don't like the breakfast. That's one of many reasons, Rose. Always plenty of reasons they can give you. Hey, Bad Apple. Hey, it's been a little heavy today, Bad Apple. Kwame Brown, former NBA player and YouTuber, interviewed the mother and brother. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it leaves. I think especially, like, let's just say if you discover Breakfast Club in your early 20s, you could deal with it for a little while, or younger than that. And then once you hit about your late 20s on up, it's really like, what the heck are y'all doing? What are y'all talking about? The mom's explanation was she didn't want to re-traumatize her. Well, that didn't turn out the way she thought. I got you. Yep, in my opinion as well, Chrissy. Her mom didn't want to deal with it anymore. Wow. Thank you, Phyllis. Oh, no problem, Jazzy J. Look at Marquez Houston and girl Josie. Now she also appears to be a groomed young lady as well. Them dates ain't adding up. Them dates are not adding up. The 80s and dates do not add up with Marquez Houston and that young lady that is now his wife. I don't trust that. Hey, Tawanda. Okay. All right. I'm going to go through the reminders real fast. Make sure you do something to take care of your mental health today and every day, really. But I'll just go through the reminders, and then I'll let y'all go about your days. So tomorrow we get back up with our 5 minutes with Fit. Okay. So towards the end of the lunchtime live, Fit says she might have them pre-done, so it sticks within the 5 minutes. Either way, I'm open to it. However you want to do it, 41 Fit. So we'll have that, and tomorrow evening we have Love is Blind lawsuit. So something not so it's not like what today's was. So if y'all are interested in that to see what this lawsuit's about, I feel like it covers way more than Love is Blind. I really feel like there's going to be a lot of class action lawsuits against reality TV in general, and I'm pretty sure there's already been some, but this one picked up on my radar. Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go over the witness list for Scope versus Zen Garden. So we'll see who they're calling to the stand for when they do have trial. Some people have been throwing around the October 5th date. I have not seen anything in black and white yet. And the last thing that Black Titanic had read was like October 17th or something, that they still had a deadline to be able to get their stuff in. So I don't see them having a trial date prior to October 17th. And that's just in my humble opinion, though. And Sylvia's going to tell her story on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I cannot wait for that. Okay. And then I'm going to go and, sorry, y'all. Oh, and thank you to my Trendy Tribe. I don't even think I said thank you today. So thank y'all to my Trendy Tribe members. I appreciate y'all. Okay. Let me see. Okay, this will be my last go through. And then, oh, you catching up to those strawberry letters, Jazzy? Yeah, he's something else. He's disgusting too, though. Oh, excuse me. That's the other thing. I want to take notes first, but don't think I haven't heard about Pam Esquire, the law intellect, and what she was reading on those charges and what happened when he got picked up. I sure know about it. I got to sit down and actually take notes so I can, give my thoughts about it. But I am aware, just to let y'all know, I got to carve out some time to actually go back because I want to make sure I'm not distracted when I listen, if I can do that. Thank you, Gigi. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I was hoping so. It's too many real world victims that will come across this video that are already in this chat, and it just, I just couldn't even bring up the documents on this one. Wait, who's funny, Jazzy? They will need an interpreter for Tisha. Well, right now, they would need one for her Soul Star. You're not lying. Definitely gonna have to read the transcript on that. Oh, thank you, Rose. YouTube be playing me on notifications, but I appreciate you. And y'all, usually I'm live 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fridays. What was it? Fridays. And is that it now? My norm is Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every lunchtime live I can do is 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just started doing Love and Marriage Huntsville recaps on Sundays at 11:30 a.m. Yeah, so okay. You want an update on Shirley as of today? Oh, got you. What I can tell you, and I put it on my community wall, go watch Mims's video, y'all. Make it make sense. Watch his video because he said he's in contact with a judge, an attorney, and a private investigator. And Shirley has not filed for an annulment. No, now she knows she's not legally married, but I think as Pamela said, you still should be applying for that annulment. So if that's what the attorneys say, that's what I'm gonna say. Get the annulment so you can get your name clear of this man. Hey, Girlfriend Chronicles. Yes. It is a lot, and I left out a lot. So if anybody's fresh to it like me, don't go. Wait, Jazzy, we're not talking about. Wait, are you just talking about in general because you heard it at another time? Because you might have came in later, Jazzy, and since you can't see the screen, it's not on the screen anymore. But we were discussing some heavy stuff too. So if you see me kind of just jumping around, it's because we had a heavy topic in here today. She still needs to apply for annulment so she's not attached legally in Georgia. Thank you, Shan. Because some people were asking if it matters, and I'm like, to me, it would still matter. So, thank you, Cynthia. It would still matter. I think she definitely needs to get that annulment. Like, ma'am, get off of your behind. And like they say, you know where he's at. Get him served. There's nothing for him to contest at this point. Just get it done. But this is her MO. This is her MO. Just sitting there, just sitting on her hands. And I'm tired of her. I ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of her. Well, maybe she wants to be attached. Lil Paulette, I know, right? I got to do her like Kimmy. If you like it, I love it. I'm about tired of it. I don't know what you're doing no more. Cause you right. Okay. So shout out to all the content creators that were in here, including Lil Paulette and the gang. I believe the mods have been dropping your links. So I appreciate my mods. Thank you. Thank you for understanding why I couldn't stop reading and greet for this particular topic. Y'all are always very gracious and I appreciate it. Thank you for being gracious to each other as well. Yes, it's actually easier to divorce someone in jail. Okay. Hey, I'm this close to 5K. Come on. 41 fit. But yes, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all get on with your day. I very much appreciate your audience. I will see y'all. I'll still try to do a lunchtime live tomorrow because we got 5 minutes with Fit. And then we'll look at Love is Blind lawsuit in the evening time tomorrow if you can make it. Thank you, Miss Main Event. Oh no. Yes, it doesn't just go away. It doesn't go away, Miss Main Event. And you are very welcome. We definitely should not let them sweep this under the rug or be in the dark. Definitely. Shenanigans, I know when to stay within my own boundaries and what I actually can stretch myself on. If someone is willing to do that, I think that's beautiful. But I know for me, I'm not able to have that kind of bandwidth to do it. I would say go try to find her petition she started to get Charlamagne off the show. That would probably support her in a way too, and it's tangible. Because I feel like if she started that petition, that's how she maybe wants her support. So I would suggest starting there. But anything anybody ever feels led to do, I think you should do what your heart leads you to do for sure. Okay. All right. Hey, Taisha. I saw you come in earlier. Hey, and thank you. And bye, P. Thank you, Lil Paulette. They are sweet. Bye, Chrissy. Bye, Shan. Okay, y'all. I'm going to play the music so I can go ahead and go back. This is definitely supposed to be my tight hour because it's a real lunch break. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I'll play the music. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
I've been taking my time. Taking all of your time, yeah. I've been taking my time, yeah. Taking all of your time, yeah. Talk about it for a while before we take a chance.